crazy. I'm paranoid, making you think all those crazy thoughts. I hear you, I feel ya. No doubt, I know it makes me been sitting in that front seat, just checking out that rear view. My mentality hungry, I'm paranoid, gon' pull through. My paranoia taking over. I'm alone inside my brain. My paranoia taking over, overblown. This is insane. Been sitting in that front seat, just checking out that rear
Some heat in the motor, you know, like 1/8 full. Welcome back to the vlog. I hope everybody is doing well. Solid intro there. Absolute beauty day today. Like bluebirds, so beautiful. Sun shining. I am going to go look at another Q7 S-Line 2010. Same deal. Black on black. This one's actually a charcoal, which I like way better than black personally. I'm gonna go look at that. I'm heading to the car wash. But anyways, I just finished getting a bunch. I had a coolant smell coming from the A6, and I went ahead and had it diagnosed or whatever, or kind of self-diagnosed it, blah blah blah. I know higher kilometers and stuff like that. It was due for say a water pump service and a thermostat service. So when they're in there, you got to pull the supercharger in order to do that. I had them basically overhaul the whole coolant system. We did. I got them to do the water pump, thermostat, all the seals, front crossover hose, another crossover hose that goes under the supercharger. All the stuff in these vehicles is all the coolant lines are like Teflon. They're kind of, in my mind, Mickey Mouse, but whatever. While you're in there, you might as well change it. The hoses were like $50 each, 50, 100, like just whatever, right? While you're down there, I'm a big maintenance freak, and when it comes to that kind of stuff, if it makes sense to do these little ugly Teflon hoses that are under there while you have the supercharger off and you're in the valley, then I'm all for it, right? It's gonna cost more right now, but long term, you're gonna save yourself a lot more money, right? On potentially having, say, a coolant leak down the line, blah 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 blah. So, and I do know these A6s, that's like one of their only issues is, like the coolant leaks and stuff like that, right? So I didn't want to be in that situation where, I do the water pump and thermostat and then, it's still leaking coolant, or it still smells like coolant. I got it done at Mark's Import in Vancouver here. Very good work, solid guys. They kept me in the loop, basically every day what was going on, and and he even recommended, say a couple extra parts while we were down there, and seals and blah blah blah. I was like, you know what, yeah, Dave, go ahead, do it, please, just get her done and get her dialed in, right? I mean, obviously getting that work done was not like some people would have just said, just do the water pump and thermostat, no, be good, and it'll say sealed to stay sealed up for another 100 kilometers. Well, essentially you want to get 200k out of your water pumps, right, before they start leaking out of the bearings and peepholes and whatnot. Whereas if you were to just Mickey Mouse fix it, or Band-Aid fix it, I like to refer to it as, then you could potentially have a leak in the next 50,000k to 100,000k, right? So small preventative measures for longevity and reliability. I mean, these are very stout motors and very stout platforms in general, so why not bulletproof as you go, right? The one thing I would have liked to delete was the crankcase vent, the PCV system. It would have been nice to delete that while we were in there, and say run a hose out and then just run to the atmosphere for now, and then run a catch can later on. So if anybody's watching this video and you know of a crankcase vent delete, or a crankcase, like with a catch can delete system for the A6s, for the 3.0s, Supercharged, definitely send me a message and let me know. I know Innovative Engineer makes one, but it's for the 2 liter, and I don't think it's compatible with this one. correct me if I'm wrong, but I would I mean, while the supercharger was off, you're doing supercharger gaskets and stuff like that too, right? So it would have been nice to, you know, do the delete while we're in there, but sometimes it's like, well, if you find something, well, you're gonna find it in the States and there's gonna be shipping and blah blah blah. So, but if anybody does know of a crankcase vent delete or a PCV delete system, they're called, let me know. I would like to run a catch can and just do it that way, because then you're not prevent, you know, sometimes those diaphragms and whatnot break in PCV systems, and you know, you can create boost leaks, vacuum leak, whatever. This is just another preventative measure, especially when you're running high boost like on this sucker with a stage 3 tune and whatnot. So, and you know, a penny pulley. But anyways, besides the point, I'm not going to talk your ear off. I just figured I'd bring you guys for a ride along for the ride. Sorry. Apparently I can't talk today. Maybe I should have just stayed at home, eh? Anyways, I'll show you guys like everything I was done. I'm gonna go to the car wash, get this thing cleaned up, and then we can kind of go over in depth, you know, all the hoses that he changed and whatnot. So I mean, if you have an A6 and you have the coolant smell and stuff like that, yeah, it makes sense to pressure test it and see where the leak's coming from. I mean, if you can fix the leak from, say, up top, then sure, go ahead. You can also change the water pumps without pulling the supercharger. It's actually the thermostat that you got to pull the supercharger to change, right? So, but they're also plastic housing, rubber gaskets, stuff like that. So those are prone to leaking as well, right? So, I guess if you do have a leak and stuff like that, and you can do it from the top and Band-Aid fix it, then sure. But I mean, this video isn't specifically about that. But if you do, if you did spring a leak or something like that in your A6, just spend the $1,500 or spend the $2,000, you know, at a good shop, and just overhaul the cooling system. If you're gonna keep the vehicle, like this one's gonna be a flip eventually when the time comes, and yeah, obviously I want my ducks in a row, and I want to know that it's 100%, right? I mean, I put my brand on this thing here, Lambert built, right? So last thing I want is, you know, let's spring a coolant leak. So with that being said, if you find the right shop to do it, blah blah blah, then 100%, just overhaul the system. But freeway action there, you know, get a little heat in the morning in the motor, and try, you know, I always find anytime you do a water pump or overhaul a coolant system or anything like that, it takes a while to get the air out of the system. So sometimes you just got to get her up to temperature and just bag the crap out of her. I'm not even really like bagging the crap out of her. It's like, that's like 1/8 throttle. I mean, you can't even open this thing up around here, but I like to try bleed the air out of the system. It definitely helps to go out and bag it out when it's up to temperature. So whether or not there is a little bit of air bubbles in, say, the corners of the cylinder heads, blah blah blah, that's one good way to get it out of there, is, you know, get her up in RPMs and get that water pump moving. For the most part, it should kind of surge the air bubbles and air pockets out of there. So so far my thermostat hasn't moved from 90 anyways. I'm not worried about it. I'm sure there's remote bleeders and stuff like that, fancy stuff on these things, but you know, in my work areas, that's what I like to do, just a little pointer. So gonna go ahead and we're heading to the car wash and get this thing cleaned up, and then yeah, I guess stay tuned for that. Yee. Okay, so I got the flashlight out here. I got Jax, the bratty dog. So I just want to finish this video off by showing you guys what coolant lines were all changed. Basically, supercharger had to come off. They did the water pump boom, which is right there, right in here. They did the thermostat, which is directly under the supercharger right here. They did upper crossover hose in there. That new upper's new. This upper right here is new as well. And then there's one other crossover hose that goes basically along the supercharger from the back of the thermostat, and it goes over here. It's another one that's prone to leaking. That crossover was that third one there, thermostat. And then I think there was one at the bottom or on the side right here. It's just a shorty that was also changed. So I mean, while you're in there, you might as well do it for the price of it. And then there's a spring a leak in say 50 to 100,000 K because of not putting in new $150 to $200 Teflon hoses. I mean, come on. I think I would go that route over anything. But anyways, that's it for this video. Just wanted to show you guys what I did to kind of refine and refresh this thing. So stay tuned, and yeah, have yourself a good weekend.